Yay, tax day is coming. And for many, it's a day filled with stress and uncertainty. But what if tax day could actually be a celebration? What if in retirement you could keep more of your hard-earned money and actually look forward to tax season? Is it possible? Well, we're going to discuss that, making that a reality. Taylor and Laurel Stewart from Mattson Financial Services. Boy, Taylor, Laurel, welcome back.
Thank you.
I got to say, tax day isn't something usually people celebrate.
Right, so we need to change that, right? Like, how do you love it?
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be like, yay, taxes. So how does a tax day celebration, what does that look like?
Yeah. I think for us, the goal is to make sure you're having this conversation with your advisor and a plan in place, and that advisor is absolutely communicating with your CPA or tax preparer. Because what you don't want to have happen, which makes it not a celebration, is you sit down and you're like, wait, I have to pay in X amount? What do you mean? That's a surprise. We should know those conversations going into it, so things are all set and maybe you'll get a little refund, or maybe you're just breaking even more so. So it can be that celebration to say, hey, all year long we did the tax planning, so all we have to do is get the statements and give it, and it is a celebration because it's off my hands.
Is that something that, I've heard it for decades. Isn't that something that we should all be trying to do, is to break even, to take as much money home as we can throughout the year so we're not paying or receiving at the end?
Right, it's like a loan almost that you're letting them spend, so.
Yeah, and I guess everybody's got a different outlook on it, right? Maybe some aren't super great with saving. If they've got that little extra money, they're going to spend it, so they like that refund. But in general, especially when we're talking retirees, we want you to come out about as flat as possible, right? Maybe you owe a tiny bit, or maybe you're getting a little refund back that tells us that we've done our jobs properly and working with your CPA. But in order to get to that point, there's proper planning involved to make sure that we obviously get to that break-even point, right? So years of tax planning that goes into this, especially looking at if you saved largely in your 401k, that's all pre-tax money, right? So every dollar you pull out, you're paying taxes on. Well, what if you have a big expense? You got to put a new roof on the house. You need $25,000. Well, to get you that $25,000, depending on where you're at tax-wise, it might cost you $30 or $35 or $40 because of those taxes, right? So if we diversify by those tax buckets, we can keep control over how much we're really paying.
I love that you guys know all of this stuff, because I would literally just hand you all my stuff and say, make that happen. What you said sounds really good. Do you have like a success story? Or is there any example you could give us of maybe somebody who was dreading taxes and then it turned into a celebration for them?
Yeah, there's tons of them, right? We deal with this really every single client that comes through the door, but I've got a couple that had came in 3 years ago, I guess, and became clients. They had about $1 million. They were retiring in a couple years, and one was working part-time taking care of grandkids, so their income was a little lower. So what we did is started looking at Roth conversions, filling up that current tax bracket, not bumping them up to the next one, so by the time they both got to retirement, we had filled up some of that non-qualified or after-tax, but also that Roth bucket. So now as they're drawing income, we pull some from the 401k or pre-tax money, some from the after-tax and the Roth, which helped lower their Social Security, the taxes that they were paying on Social Security, helps with their marketplace insurance because their taxable income is less, and obviously they're paying less in taxes year after year, and it's something that we continue to look at each year as well to help save that, which is tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds, over the course of your 20 or 30 year retirement.
I'd celebrate that too.
Yeah. Right.
And this isn't something that, as you mentioned, Taylor, this isn't something that you just want to set and forget.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not the, hey, it's tax time, let's crunch the numbers, put the plans, and be done. Really, right now is about the homework, you're getting your statements, and that's it. But really, the tax planning is all the other 365 days of the year, and we're going to figure it out for this year. And then next year when we meet, or next quarter when we meet, we're going to talk about it again, because likely you have changes in your life. What, how does that affect your Social Security? What about Medicare and those types of premiums? It's an ongoing plan.
So, you just brought that up, because the change in life could be healthcare. As people age, that becomes, now how does healthcare play into this tax situation as well?
Yeah. I'm seeing it actually with a couple clients coming through the door that were planning retiring, next year, the following year, but they're so tenured or senior at their positions, there's been a lot of downsizing. So it's like, surprise, we're retired now. right? And by the way, he's the one that covered the health insurance. So now not only do we have to figure out what our income looks like, but what about health insurance, right? And we've got that at Mattson Financial in-house as well.
That's an added service that we have for all of our clients to really look at what's the best insurance for you to be on, communicating with your advisor for income planning, especially if you're getting a subsidy, because if you go over that limit, right, by even $1, you're going to pay all of that subsidy back.
That's a surprise tax time you don't want, right?
Costly mistake. So we're well versed on that, trying to look at all these different things on your behalf.
And I'm sure Social Security is in there too. I mean, people are still counting on that.
Yep. We still put it in the plan, right? We're absolutely looking at it, but for that aspect, some say like, hey, I want it now because I don't know what the future looks like.
Right.
Some might defer, and we're optimizing. We're looking at those different things, but also up to 85% of your Social Security could be taxed depending on your income and what you're earning. So that's why you want to make sure if you do retire, you don't just blindly also go back to work and start earning all of these dollars, because you're going to say, wait, I've got this reduced Social Security now. I didn't realize it. So those are all the things that we talk to with our clients. That's why we have a really great relationship, to make sure it's always a two-way street.
I love having perfect vision, but hindsight being 20/20 isn't something I really look forward to. You'd rather see it coming, right? And that's what you guys do. So let's talk about how you can help people out right now.
So if you're one of the first 5 callers, you've saved $250,000 or more for retirement, would love to offer you to come in complimentary, meet with one of our fiduciary advisors on our team, and let's talk about retirement and all things taxes. And we're going to make it a celebration for you.
I love it. Hey, a tax party. Who knew? That's an amazing offer. If you are in or near retirement, oh, please don't let those taxes eat away at your savings. Laurel, Taylor, and their team are going to help you create a smart tax strategy so you can look forward to tax season instead of dreading it. The team will sit down with you personally to customize an enhanced retirement plan just for you. This is a comprehensive plan that includes a look at your investments, income sources, taxes, and much more to help get you to and through that retirement you deserve. Reserve one of those spots now. Call 1-800-536-8907. That's 1-800-536-8907. Don't wait. This is your chance to turn tax day into the best day of the year.